Known primarily for his portraits of a small but dedicated group of sitters and his urban landscapes of the neighbourhood surrounding his studio in North London, self-portraits are a notably rare aspect of Frank Auerbach's oeuvre. He had until recently only ever captured his own likeness a handful of times. Auerbach produced a total of just 3 self-portraits between the years 1958 and 1965, 2 drawings and 1 oil over charcoal on paper. It was not until 2001 that he turned to draw his reflection once more, and his first painted self-portrait appeared a further 2 decades later in 2021. This exhibition is the first devoted to Auerbach's self-portraits and the first presentation of new work by the artist since 2015.
It basically came out of COVID, and it's possibly the greatest and only good result of COVID. It's because Frank was obviously couldn't have his normal sitters. And as a result, this is himself on himself.
It's a rather sealed environment. It's pretty impervious to the outside world, and they're not planned. It all is organic, coming together. He's fascinating company, and it's a privilege to be a friend of Frank's.
Mirror image, it's not quite like reality. It's condensed, it's squashed, it's remote slightly. So these drawings are the most extraordinary fruit, not just of COVID obviously, but of Frank's decades of seeing people as something to search, examine, explore, and somehow come to terms with.
You see the scale, the drawings are big, experimentation with his features. There's something he and others have called these kind of anchor marks, these swaths of paint on top. You need to see the originals to really appreciate their vigor and their experimentation, and especially with the paintings, how unexpected they are. They don't fit the description of what an Auerbach painting looks like in its kind of cliched way.
This isn't so much a departure for Frank as a kind of act of confidence that in this bleak state, this divorced, distanced world that he's inhabiting now, he's looking at himself, and yet at the same time he's not. He's looking into himself. When he looks in the mirror, he's thinking of drawing, not celebration of his age and his state of life, but an idea of himself as a kind of representative of all mankind.
In the exhibition catalogue, Michael Romer, award-winning filmmaker, Yale professor and author, writes a touching account of a first meeting and the friendship that endured. Romer meditates on the bearing of the friendship has had on his life and his intellectual thinking. He discusses a fate that spared them the Holocaust and death, had they not been evacuated from Nazi Germany, and writes eloquently of the compulsion to collect Auerbach's drawings and paintings. There is a beauty in the counterpoint between 2 old friends late in life, Auerbach with these remarkable self-portraits and the self-examining writing of Romer.
Frank has been aware of the presence of death since he was a young child, and one of his reasons for his extraordinary self-discipline, particularly as he got older, is to make the best of what he has in life and not waste any time. I think the paintings in the exhibition, he's turned 90, now he's almost 92, and he's felt that he could, not only did his face look more interesting, but he could experiment with himself in ways that he might not do with another person in front of him. And they get wilder and more startling, as you can see.
The drawings become momentous. That's the most extraordinary thing. In other words, the self-portrait isn't a self-portrait of Frank Auerbach, full stop. It's actually an image of someone making sense of the world, making sense of life. For Frank, a drawing is just as intense as a painting. It's to do with the right marks, the right touches, but to actually make something that stands up for itself, that can be launched into the world and it'll survive. It's not just an exercise. It's actually an exploration of what is possible in these awful circumstances, which we all had to come to terms with one way or another. This is his, and it's magnificent.